Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another mock draft. We are going to be doing the sixth pick today, so uh, trying to get through it. Preseason started. Let me know what you guys think. Saw a couple crazy highlights. My Commanders got smoked, but it's preseason, it's whatever. But all right, let's get into it. So sixth pick, kind of in the middle. So um, you got a little um, buffer between each pick. So guys that you think may be there at the next pick may not be. It really just depends. So we're gonna kind of play that out, see how it looks. But you guys know my top three: Jahmyr, Bijan, and Saquon. Kind of crazy, went fifth here, but Justin Jefferson and CD would probably be my next two picks. I do like Jahmyr Gibbs here a lot. At six, that's probably gonna be my pick. But I'd be fine with probably Puka or Neighbors here as well. McCaffrey, I've talked about him. I just think he's kind of a risk as a first round pick this year. If he plays, if he has a healthy season, then obviously he's a home run. In the first round pick, he's one of the best fantasy running backs to ever play. But the injury history the past couple of years just scares me a little bit to spend a first round pick on him. So I'm gonna go Jahmyr Gibbs here for sure. I think he's only getting more reps. Montgomery's kind of sliding down. I mean, not sliding down, but Gibbs. They want Gibbs to be the guy, um, and I think he is the guy in the line in Detroit. So I like to run the ball. Jahmyr Gibbs, pass catches as well. He's a good receiving back as well. So like that at the sixth pick there. Let's see, running back. We have a couple running backs I'd like to get here. Derrick Henry would be nice. A-Chain as well. If A-Chain really in PPR is where A-Chain shines, right? And that's what most people I talk to play. So I like PPR as well. Um, A-Chain is just a big part of that offense. He gets a lot of screen game. Um, I want he probably averages like 3-4 catches a game. Let's take a look at him. Did I pause the timer? Okay, yeah. Let's take a look at when Tua was in. I remember it was like his numbers would be like 7-7, 3-3, 1-2, 6-8, 5-4. That's really good receiving numbers from a running back just from PPR. I mean, you're getting that's like 5 points just for catches. Um, he's obviously really fast too. I really like A-Chain there. I like Josh Jacobs as well. Um, might be a little early for Jacobs. I'd probably go A-Chain or Henry first and then Jacobs. But let's use wide receiver here too. Yeah, AJ Brown, Lad. I think I'm gonna go double up on running back, and I am gonna go with it's so hard to bet against Derrick Henry. I mean, the problem with Derrick Henry is one of these years he's not gonna run for almost 2,000 yards. But until he doesn't, it's like hard to bet against him. And the Ravens, they love to run the ball. Obviously, they have a really good O line. Um, he's good for almost a touchdown a game. He had like a little 4 game drought here, which is crazy. But I mean, look, every other game, not going to get much receiving work as we know. Um, I think I'm going to go A-Chain just because of the PPR upside. I do like Derrick Henry there a lot too, though. I mean, it's really personal preference there at the end of the day. Um, I really there's a lot of good running backs here still, but I do need to get a wide receiver. Um, and I'm gonna go. Let's see, we have Tyreek Hill. Probably not gonna go him because I got A-Chain, get T Higgins. Um, when T Higgins plays, he's fantastic. I mean, he was top 20 wide receiver last year. He missed 3 games, 5 games, sorry. So um, I think I am gonna go T here. Um, he's in the most pass heavy offense. Obviously has a fantastic quarterback in Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is obviously the one, but he gets a lot of good matchups because of that, right? Everyone's focusing on Jamar Chase. T Higgins is a fantastic wide receiver. Um, so I'm gonna go T Higgins here for sure as my wide receiver one. Like that one a lot. Um, let's see who we got. We got good running backs. We got good wide receivers. I still need to get another receiver. Um, I probably should get another receiver before I worry about flex. Let's see. Like Evans, McLaurin, Harrison, DK. These are probably all on the same tier for me. Um, I would probably I'm still waiting on this contract. I love Terry here. Um, and I mean, obviously Mike Evans is just Mr. Consistent too. I mean, last season was wide receiver 13. Terry was wide receiver 8 last year. I think I'm gonna go Terry here. I do think that the contract's gonna get figured out, and I'm not too worried about it. Um, Here I really like Chuba. I really like Rasheed Rice. And I really like DK Metcalf. Those are the three I would probably look at here. Uh, Tra- uh, Travion Henderson looked absolutely fantastic in his first preseason game. His stock went up for me a little bit for sure. Um, I definitely think he's just super quick, super fast, has crazy burst, good catching, good hands. He returned a kickoff for 100 yards for God's sake. Um, I think that was him. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, but um, could go Jalen Hurts here, could go Mahomes, but I think I'm gonna wait. I've talked about it a million times how I like these. Baker, Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, these three here that seem to be here late. I like any of those three for fantasy. Um, Chuba Hubbard's amazing. Running back, I could triple up on wide receiver just in case of that Terry contract and he does sit out, which is probably the smartest move. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grab DK out of Pitt. Really like Rasheed Rice too there, but just with the uncertainty of the off the field stuff he's in, I'm gonna skip out on him for now. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab Travion Henderson. Um, could be good quarterback again, but don't see much movement there. Tight end, we have some good tight ends available, but Travion Henderson, I think, is going to have a great rookie year in that New England offense. And then from here, I mean, Mixon here is pretty crazy. I know he's hurt, but RB13 last year, you're getting the RB13 in round seven. That's pretty crazy. Winnie's, Mixon's just a good fantasy, good receiving, good rushing, gets touchdowns. I, that Houston team really never found its stride last year. I think they kind of rebound this year. Um, CJ Stroud's gonna bounce back, I believe. Nico's was banged up a little bit. Tank Dell went down early. Uh, they got in a new wide receiver, Jaden Higgins. They brought him in. Mixon, obviously had a good year, but I do like Mixon there a lot. Caleb Johnson's another guy I like there. I could go. I have three wide receivers. All right, I don't really need another wide receiver. Um, but there is some good ones available, like Jameson Williams, Pickens. I like this year. Travis Hunter's not a bad play there either. We did have a couple quarterbacks go. It looks like everyone except for this guy on the end has drafted a QB. So I could go Bo Nix or I could go Kyler Murray. I'll kind of just let. I'll keep going skill positions and because I'm fine with either one of these guys to be honest. So I may get one on the way back. I'm gonna grab Mixon here just because of the value. I think it was very good in the seventh round. I know he's banged up. Let me actually read about his injury. I'm gonna say non-football injury, NFI. Is that what that says? He's on the IR. Age injury to competition. Most experts are steering clear of Mixon drafts and it's lingering foot issue. Yeah, I mean it is a risk. But I mean we're filling bench at this point. I have three running backs, three wide receivers. I think with the upside that Mixon brings, if he is able to, recover from that foot injury, RB13 last season with his first season in Houston. Um, I like the pick, so I'm gonna go him in the seventh. I mean, it's not like we're spending top tier capital on him, so I like it. And that's probably it for my running backs. So I mean, I love that running back room. Um, and then here, I mean, I can even go Travis Hunter. I could go George Pickens. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that I would definitely like. Could look at tight end, T.J. Hawkinson, Evan Ingram. I've talked about. I think it's going to fit in that Sean Payton offense pretty good. David Njoku, I also like a lot. I could go Kyler Murray here, but yeah, I mean, everyone has a quarterback. I think I'm going to play it smart. See, this is, I definitely want you guys to look at this when you're drafting. Like, people don't draft, unless you're in a two quarterback league, obviously, people don't draft backup quarterbacks very quick, right? They're going to wait till, probably the 11th or later to get a backup QB, unless there's someone they really like. But QB is not a position that you really even need more than one of. I mean, you can easily go into, the you can easily leave a draft with just one quarterback. That's fine. All of these guys down here are probably going to be free agents. Drake May, Goff, Love, Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, McCarthy. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that you can just plug in for a week if you need, or if your quarterback goes down with a couple week injury or something. I'm definitely gonna go Kyler Murray. But let's keep stocking up on skill positions. This is how you win the league. When everyone else is drafting other positions, you draft the skill. And you just stock up, get value for picks. Value for picks. I actually don't hate Hawks in here. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Pickens, I think. Travis Hunter is interesting. Um, it's a, it's a. I do think he's gonna plug right in and just ball out. Um, and it might be worth it taking him, but I think that Dak, um, Pickens, and CD are gonna have a pretty good pass offense this year. I think that pass offense. So I'm gonna go with George Pickens. Okay, so now we're at 9. Um, I could go tight end here. I do think Hawkinson's probably one of the better picks. I could go Evan Ingram, could go Njoku. I might wait. I might keep going. What do we have here? 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs. Um, I don't really need. Don't really need. Here's a guy, Jaden Blue, that's going really late. He's probably gonna start rising up the board, but could go QB. Let's just get Kyler to lock in the quarterback. Don't want to miss out just in case. Um, but I like Kyler there. As far as fantasy quarterbacks go, let's see what he finished last year. I'm kind of curious. QB 11. Okay, so not his better fantasy year, but usually the rushing upside, that's extra 5 points, extra 5 points, extra 4 points, extra 8 points, and I don't even know if there's touchdowns here yet. Touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. So rushing aside, he's gonna build more chemistry with um, Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride's a great tight end. James Conner is good in the run game, but um, I still like Kyler Murray, especially in fantasy, just with the rushing upside. So I like that pick there. Then we're gonna go with tight end. Look at Hawkinson still just sitting here. I feel like I gotta take him. His ADP's in the 6th round, but we're getting him here. Um, I actually may go Evan Ingram though. I like Evan Ingram a lot this year. I'm gonna take Evan Ingram. I just think he's gonna have a good year in that Broncos system. I do like Njoku a little bit too, but that Brown situation just kind of scares me right now. He's another guy I talk about a lot. I think he's definitely worth it. Taking like a late round flyer on. Um, if you don't know, he broke like all of Brock Bowers. Um, well, not all of them, but he broke his yards record that he set the previous year. So this guy's a very good tight end. Now, will the Colts be able to give him the ball consistently? That's probably why he's still getting drafted down here. But he could be this year's Brock Bowers, and I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on and definitely spending, a 13th, 12th round pick on, which I might do later, even, um, you know, whatever. And then, yeah, I'll just grab, one more piece here. Probably go Cooper Cup. I see him here. As far as fantasy goes, he's a great fantasy option. obviously was banged up last year, and you know, I think he got hurt in this game, and then whatever. But um, we'll see how he plays in Seattle with Darnold. I'm gonna grab him there, and then I'm gonna get Warren here. So I'm gonna take a flyer on him late. And then we go defense, Ravens, that's fine. And then kicker, good scoring offense. Give me Bucker with the Chiefs, and that is the mock draft. So I do really like this team actually. This is at the sixth spot. So we got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Jahmyr Gibbs and A-Chain at running back, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin at wide receiver, DK Metcalf in the flex there. And then, he can fill in if Terry sits out or, whatever the contract dispute is. If he gets traded to a shit team, whatever. We can just plug BK right in. And then we got George Pickens and Cooper Kupp on the bench too, to plug in that flex or whatever. Evan Ingram at tight end, Ravens on D, Bucker at kicker. Travion Anderson has all the upside in the world at running back right now. Mixon, um, we'll see how that heals. That might have been a bad pick, but for the value in the seventh round, it was just kind of hard to pass up. Top 10 RB finish last year. Um, you know, hopefully that foot heals. We'll kind of get more information on that. Obviously these change, week by week with news coming out, right? If Mixon gets shut down for, whatever 8 weeks or whatever, then it might not be a good idea to pick him there, but um, it might be worth it to take one of those rookie running backs, with more upside. But then we got Pickens and Cup at backup wide receiver, and then Warren. I like kind of stashing him late. Just trade bait. Maybe your tight end goes down, Warren can plug right in. We'll see how he does, but I like spending a late round pick on him this year for sure. But yeah, that's the team. Let me know what you guys think. That was the sixth spot. And yeah, I think it's just a few more with the 10 team, and then I'm gonna plug right into the 12. I'm also gonna start doing some, like tier lists for running backs, quarterbacks, tight ends on where I think they are, current tiers. Um, and then yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.